Hello guys, what's up? It's your boy here, and today we're gonna talk about Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie. It's a movie review. How you guys doing? I haven't made a video in such a long time. Probably because I didn't have anything to talk about. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I do have now. So yeah, how you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well, and yeah, let's get started. Yeah. So the movie came this summer, if I'm not wrong. I mean, in Japan it already came, but it was, here in the rest of the world it came like a couple of days ago, if I'm not wrong, 12th of August. Where it released, and yeah, it was fire. I went in theaters to watch it, and I think the movie is good. I think it is like one of the best like animation movies I have seen. You know, like period. I feel. Probably because I think like how I see media. Because like I differentiate. Like I characterize. Like in different movies in different ways, right? So I think in the category of like action and like animation, it is like top tier. But I do have a little bit of like problems with it. So here I am, to talk to you guys. Yeah. So the movie, it. So yeah, I'm going on spoilers, but by the way, so if you don't want to hear, you can skip the video, whatever you want to do. But yeah, I'm gonna spoilers. So the movie itself is, the after the two arcs, very small arcs, the Swordsmith arc, the Swordsmith village arc, and the Hashira training arc. And I think it's definitely pan out. How those small uh, seasons were. I think it definitely gives very you know good result of like how like those small you know seasons were able to do. I think the movie it's very good. Even the first fight. Okay, so how the movie is, the movie is differentiated into parts. Parts is a very broad way to say. It's like the movie itself is like a big fight. So in the first movie, which is the Infinity Castle War, there are three fights. The first fight is Shinobu versus the upper two demon. The second one is Zenitsu versus an upper moon demon, which was his like senior of some sort. And the third fight was between Gyu Tanjiro versus Akaza, which was, I would say, the best one. But yeah, we will go in that one in details. I think the first two fights, I don't have that much to say, probably because it is like so good. I think the movie, is goes out in such a natural way, I would say. Like how it shows, because like the fight itself are going simultaneously. Like the one fight is going on here and the other fight is going on there, and the way it shows that it's very smooth, and I loved it. The first fight and the second fight, the transition was like phenomenal. Like how it went. And I think the main point that I wanted to talk, which was in the third fight, which was the Gyu Tanjiro versus Akaza, which was, I would say, majority of the fight was like the half. The rest of the last 50% of the movie was of their fight. So it was the main attraction. Um, and yeah, I think those the first two fight were phenomenal. Like I do have something to say a little bit about the third fight, which was how it explained. I think Demon Slayer as a whole, I think in animation have a little bit time, have like a problem to like tell story, in a good way, and also time management. I won't say in this one because I definitely felt that very consistent. It's just like I feel like the story wasn't hitting that well in this one, you know, especially in the third part. Not the Akaza's backstory, but how Tanjiro's, you know, learn or like understand, how Akaza fights. And I think it is, it was very kind of weird, I would say. So if you don't know, again, I'm going to spoilers. Akaza have a power of like not have a power, but he like have he literally have like a Goku's Ultra Instinct, where he could like feel other people's like intentions. Not like intentions per se, but like if they have like like intention to harm him, to have like bloodlust or anything like that, he can just feel that, and I think how Akaza is, and in that world, it is very good, that power. So so Tanjiro, for that, he need to understand that, and the way he finds, or like the solutions to fight, to counter that, that power, it was so lackluster, I would say, in compared to the whole movie. The whole movie, I would say, it's like 10 out of 10, but again, that small part, it wasn't even like, I would say, like 10%. It's like 5% of the whole movie, but it still like kind of bothers personally me, because in a storytelling, it's good to show, not tell. Like explanation in in a story doesn't help the story at all. Whereas in here, Tanjiro just explains the whole story. So Tanjiro, he like asked Inosuke. Oh, because like Inosuke kind of had that kind of breathing style as well, right? Which is like the beast, if I'm not the beast one, where he could also, Inosuke also can like like feel other people's intentions, right? Like not just intention, but like bloodlust if like somebody's trying to hurt him or anything like that. So Tanjiro, when he heard it, he just, I don't know how to say, but he's just like starting, like it was like a lecture, at that point it's just starting to become like a lecture. Oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, to become that. And even how he finds the answer, which is his father's, his like father's teaching. Like his father once like told him how to like like he shows him how he like deals with like bears and stuff in his hometown. you know it was very, I don't know how to say, very kind of like getting into me, probably because like how the whole because you have to understand, the the explanation, the lecture that I'm telling about, it's between one of the greatest fights in like Demon Slayer, like you like animation like whole, like we see like, oh, like the entertainment arc, of like the Sound Hashira fight, it was like peak, right? And even this is like pretty good, like I'd say it's probably even better than that, but like in right in between, it's just Tanjiro just starts to like like talking, not talking, but like like the story itself just start to like explain stuff, without like showing. Because I feel even the storytelling, like the storytelling could have been better, like rather than the Tanjiro asking and like or how it does, Inosuke itself, like seeing, oh, Tanjiro is just like confused how like Inosuke can like feel other people's, in his surrounding. Inosuke could have, explained him himself. But, Tanjiro, he just asks stuff and like, oh, Inosuke happens to know this stuff. It's kind of lazy, in, I'd say, in the directional, part. Uh, And yeah, it was like literally the only thing that I have to talk about in the movie. Even the akaza backstory, it was good. It was like how the direction I'm talking about, it was so good. Like it felt very natural. It's just that like little part that like bothered me a lot. And yeah, and that literally made me make this video. And yeah, I definitely think, even though, I talk so much, bad, like as if it's, like the worst thing I watched, I definitely would say it is literally one of, the like best movies like out there, this year, like 2025. It is like one of the top contenders of like the best anime movies. And yeah, like personally, I would give it like around 8.75. That 1.5 is just because of, a little bit of like that, the one that I talked about. But I read in that I definitely feel it is, like definitely it would be like a 10 out of 10, And yeah, like even at the theater, dude, like everyone was like cheering, bro. Like I remember, dude, because like I won't say like everyone. Like, dude, I literally sat next to the one of the biggest. I would say the world's biggest akaza like fanboy, dude. Like he was like fucking like crying, dude. Man, it was like because I don't like like people like making sounds and like yelling on theaters. I kind of like despise it because it's kind of disturbing, right? But like he was like yelling so much that I just got like accustomed to it, man. I stopped giving a shit, and yeah. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed the movie. It was it was definitely a great watch. Yes. I haven't watched a YouTube video that much too. I just watch nowadays cooking videos. Yeah. But as you can see, I'm playing Sekiro here. In the gameplay. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Souls game. Dark Souls, one, Sekiro, um, Bayonetta. Peak Neta. I would say. Yeah. And yeah, I don't have that much to talk about again. I don't know if I'm gonna make a video other than this one. But yeah, hope you guys are doing great. You know. Yeah, that's about it for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.